Welcome back to the Dechambros podcast, where two brothers talk about our two favorite topics, gambling and golf. My name is Shane, and I'm joined here, of course, with my brother Tanner. Tanner, how was your week?
Well, not sick anymore, so that's a positive.
And I'm sick now, so that's right.
Another positive.
Yeah, fuck. It is freezing. I don't know if you can tell by the toques in here, but it is a very cold Canadian day out there. It's next to a blizzard. It was a hell of a time driving out here to the podcast studio, but we are ready and excited to talk this week of golf. So let's dive right into it.
Let's get it.
The American Express happened, and
it did.
Your man Sepp Straka won.
Okay, first off, yes, he is my man. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Of course.
Second off, another all-time name, right? Which is why he's my guy. He's got a weird name, and I love it. He played really well. Really, really well. He had, 53-hole lead, 54-hole lead?
Yeah, I think I read, too, he did not have a bogey for, 68 holes or something like that.
Yeah. And
he bogeyed two of his last four coming in. But,
I was going to say, he did just enough to get past a strong push from JT, who had a solid Sunday,
Justin Thomas. Last week, I sat right here in this chair, and I laughed at the fact that Justin Thomas was the odds leader to win the tournament, and he ended up in second place. Great showing from Justin Thomas. I mean, does it mean anything, or are we kind of jumping the gun? It's early in the season.
Who played that tournament again, Shane?
You had Patty Ice, who we'll get to as well. I get what you're saying. There's not a lot of big names that played the tournament.
Don't get too excited.
But
it's a good sign. It's a great sign. It's a great sign.
Justin Thomas is great for golf, and seeing Justin Thomas at the top of the leaderboard is just something that will always get me excited.
Yeah. I was reading something today, of course, looking into Xander and what's going on with our boy. And the articles, they're all going, golf is missing its star power with Schauffele and, what's his name, out with the injury right now. Scotty, thank you, with his hand. I kind of agree. So it's nice to see Justin at the top of the leaderboard. Hopefully that continues for the guy.
It's definitely, it's definitely been lacking. We've been missing our top stars, which... Honestly, I don't know if it's been felt yet. And I think that's mostly because it's the beginning of the season. Really, if there's a big tournament where we would have missed Scotty, it would have been this week, seeing as, he wasn't playing last week either.
Yeah.
We would have only seen him in the Century and then seen him this week. So this is definitely the tournament where we would have missed him, but it also gave some other names the abilities to shine, right? Going down the list as well, slow play Patrick, he had a great showing, T5. Grazerman, another great showing, good start of the season to him. Nick Taylor up there in the top 20, Willie Z. So we're definitely getting some names climbing up there.
You know what, Grazerman, he's doing not bad, eh? I almost gave him some consideration this week in my top 20, top 10, top 5, but...
Almost?
It was him or the other, so we'll get there. But yeah, I like him. I just... For me, he's an unknown. I didn't really know too much about him coming into this season. So I'm in the learning phase and didn't want to pick him. Thinking
learning a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, didn't know too much.
To school.
Didn't know too much.
Which is always good to see. Again,
game respects game.
Absolutely, and it's always good to see, especially in a golf world that's always so uncertain, right? Yeah. What's going to happen? Who's going to go where? It's one of those crazy little rumors that are starting to come up, obviously, with Xander. Now, it did come out from Xander's team this week that he is nursing a rib injury. Apparently, he hurt his rib last year. It was hurting him at the end of last season.
Thanks for that one.
So hopefully that means he's not going to live. But in a world where we're uncertain if our big names are going to leave or not, seeing the young guys step up is definitely huge.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's get into how our team did. We really only had 5 people start the tournament for us.
Yeah, it wasn't a very great week. It was not a good week at all. And if you remember when we were, looking into this week last week, there was one name on that list that we were really, really relying on to give us a good finish and get some money in our bank. That name was none other than Wyndham Clark.
Yep, and he didn't make the cut, did he?
Missed the fucking cut.
On a 3-day cut, too. On a 3-day cut. 3 days to make the cut. You can't. It's frustrating, man.
Really,
it's frustrating.
Really disappointing.
Especially out of one of our top guys. Group 2, right? Like, wanting a lot out of him. It's a long season, but...
Not to bring it up again, but our second choice already having a win and playing very well, and our first choice not. So that's tough. I mean, our best finish came out of Willie Z, so it's nice to see him performing well at the beginning of the season.
He's doing not too bad in the beginning of this year, right? I mean, he had, I think, one bad day in a prior tournament that brought him down the leaderboard there, but...
Other than that, solid.
He's being pretty consistent, right? For gaining that weight, putting on a little bit of muscle.
Absolutely,
there. And,
it's promising to see that his off-season training is definitely showing in his on-season. So, if we look at the numbers, how did the Dechambros do? Again, not well at all.
Yeah, we ended up in 218th place last week.
That's a tough look.
It's a tough look.
Tough look when there's 310 teams in the pool.
Bottom, second, third, right? So we made $228,448 last week, and that puts us at 153rd total for the entire season out of the 310 teams.
So we're back to the middle of the pack.
Back to middle of the pack. Back to where we were after week 1, 3,694,475.
It's not, it's not a bad place to be at the beginning of the year. It's not a good place, but it could definitely be much worse. Yeah. I'm still pretty positive on the team. There are some players that I think are really underperforming for what they should be doing.
Correct.
And like you said, it's a very long season. I'm hopeful that, someone's going to kick these guys in the ass and we're going to get some good golf out of them.
Yep, definitely.
All right, so moving on. Last week we had our 20s, 10s, and 5s.
Yeah, do you want me to just make this easy for you, Shane?
I would love for you to make it easy.
I picked Wyndham Clark top 20, he missed the cut. I picked Siwoo Kim top 10, he missed the cut. I picked Sunjae Im top 5, he missed the cut. So I want to put this out there. I was sick last week. I pulled it together. I tried my hardest. I gave you every ounce of effort and voice I had last week. I did not have the picks last week. I missed the cut on all of them. I am a whopping 0 out of 6 picks in the last 2 weeks. And I'm coming this week with some heat. So why don't we find out how you did last week on these bets?
Well, I didn't do much better.
Okay.
I know last week we were talking, you had 2 guys miss by 1 stroke. That was me last week. So Ricky Fowler, as much as you laughed at me for picking Ricky,
I saw him in that leaderboard. I'm like, way to go, Shane. Like,
and I was watching all Sunday going, just stay there, just stay there, just stay there, just stay there. And he ended up getting pushed out of 20. He finished T21. 71-71 for the weekend. Not the most ideal showing out of a Saturday and a Sunday. I hate to say it's expected out of Ricky to kind of quote-unquote choke on the weekend. I still don't think it was a choke. I mean, T21 is a good start for Ricky for his season. But these early tournaments are really where he has been known to shine in the last couple of years. And it's my fear that if he doesn't shine, he's just going to continue to be in the shadows and move further and further down in terms of the FedEx points list.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never been a Ricky fan, and it's all to do with what he looks like on the golf course. I didn't like the wings, his hair, and the bright orange.
Yeah, I mean,
I still don't like the bright orange. Don't get me wrong, his personality is much different than when he started.
The head gets it for you now, or what?
Yeah, we got some common ground now. Yeah. But I don't know, there's just been always something about his game I didn't like, and it's the same as, with the pink driver, Bubba Watson.
Oh, Bubba Watson.
I don't know why, I've never been a fan.
Bubba Watson, and I think, I know where you're going with this. Like, I mean, in Ricky's standpoint, Ricky was kind of like that younger brother, you know what I mean, in terms of Justin and Jordan. He was, the third friend. He was the one that had the potential to be as good as them, but could never get it done. So there was always that shadow in his career. I think that He did a very good job of marketing himself, right? That bright orange, the wings, he was very, very marketed. He signed a lot of lucrative deals to be able to get to where he's at. And realistically, he played a lot of good golf. He just never really had that clutch gene to get it done.
Yeah.
Bubba Watson, on the other side of things,
it was like a grandpa who needed a shtick to continue playing and be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I find both of them as just shticks that are
gimmicky,
not
I think,
authentic.
is what you're going
That
for.
just
Gimmicky.
doesn't feel authentic. And maybe Ricky's was authentic. I mean, he was 18, the wing. I get that, but I don't know. I
think with Bubba, what he really did,
irks
I mean, the pink bright driver definitely something a little bit more showboaty, but he definitely showed more out on the course, right? With the way that he shaved and slang his driver around, and that was really something that he built his name off. So on one end, you have an exciting looking player and what the people want, very sellable. On the other side, you have a very exciting player in terms of the way he plays the game. So a little bit different with the two, but I get the point that you're going on there as well. Ricky, wish you would have got that top 20. That would have been huge for me to be able to throw in Tanner's face, but one shot shy. Top 10, we put a lot behind Wyndham last week, not only as a team, but as individuals. So he not only let the Dechambros down, he let Tanner down, he let me down.
Pretty sure you called that a cop-out pick for me when I picked him.
I did.
As sick as I was, a cop-out pick.
I did, and he missed the fucking cut.
He missed the fucking cut.
So, not that, definitely a hot take coming out of me yesterday, or last week, sorry, but fuck Wyndham. Man, we need you to show up for us. We definitely need to see better out of you. My top 5, Nicky Dunlap. You called that one as well. Again, not a bad showing. T35, not the greatest, not the worst. Kind of, hindsight being 2020, exactly what I should have expected out of him. I think realistically, a top 20 bet with him may have been a little bit safer and a little bit more, riding the coattails of his win last year. But again, young guy. Promising to see him, at least start to climb up that. That
it's not like he played bad this week, right? It's just wasn't good enough, unfortunately.
Okay, this week we are going to the Farmers Open
in San Diego.
Torrey
Pines, beautiful course.
And Torrey Pines, it moved to, if I'm not mistaken, because of the unfortunate wildfires.
Yeah, I don't know if it moved this week or if the future tournament that's going to be taking place at Torrey Pines was moved because of it. I don't know. I got confused when I was reading about it today.
Either or, we're in Torrey Pines.
Yeah.
And Torrey Pines is a great place to be. It's also a great place for our team. We have 7 players in the field, and we have some pretty good names out there that are playing for us.
We even have a season debut from us.
We do. My man Shane.
Shane Lowry, season debut.
Very excited to see Shane out there in the field. We're going to get to that in a couple of seconds here. But we also have Captain Keegan Bradley.
Yep, Brad.
Our man Maverick McNeely. Great name. Let's see a great showing out of him this week. Willie Z. Let's hope that he keeps this momentum going. Gets us a top 20 in here. Eric Cole's back in the field. Shane Lowry, you mentioned. Kurt Kitayama. And Taylor Pendrith. Great Canadian boy.
Yep.
He's had a great beginning to his
doing
season.
Really well.
I'm feeling very optimistic about how our team looks going into this week's field.
Yeah, I really like McNeely, Pendrith, Zalatoris to start the year for us. Even Eric Cole, I'm not going to lie, he has been a very productive bottom pick for us, right?
For sure.
Like he was last 4 groupings there, and I don't know. I really like that pick out of us there,
especially when we have our top guys either not playing, or not playing because they're missing the goddamn cut,
right? And of a team of 12, still for us to sit here and be like, we have 7 golfers, man, can we please have 9 once?
Yeah, it would be nice.
How many of these teams are we looking at in the leaderboard and they've got 9, 10 people that are playing? Who did you guys pick?
It would be nice. If I'm just pulling up the pool right now, just to give everybody the idea. In first place, their total prize money is $9 million already.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. So, I mean,
We're sitting at 3.6.
3.6. We're pretty far away. And that doesn't just have to do with their players showing up, all right? Obviously, they have a couple of wins in there.
It's winners. I was going to say it's winners, too. But it's also the fact that they have multiple players in each tournament. So while, like this week, we only had 4 players make money for us, right? The top person had, 8 players making money for him? We need more of our golfers to start golfing.
We need more of our golfers to start golfing. We need our golfers to golf better. There's a lot that we need. Again, I'd like to see us get to, that top third, then that top quarter, and then start getting closer to talking about the money. And again, I think we have a pretty good shot at doing that this week here.
I agree with you.
Speaking of this week, maybe it's time to get into this week's 20s, 10s, and 5s.
Let's get into it.
Can't be worse than last week for both of us going 0 for 3. It's not the greatest showing out of the Dechambros here. So, I mean, I don't know what you did, but I tried to go pretty safe with this week.
I didn't.
Oh, fucking beautiful. Let's start with you then. Who do you got for your 20, man?
My guy, Aaron motherfucking Rye.
Aaron
Rye, plus 187.
Iron
cover Rye at a top 20. He did well here previously. He's been doing well to start the year. He's not doing too bad. And I think a top 20, nobody would really think to pick, an Aaron Rye for a top 20 here. I like his odds.
Hey, it's a good pick. I like where you're going with that.
187.
I went here with my guy, my name twin, in his season debut,
Shane
motherfucking Lowry, plus 130 for top 20. I think he's going to come off hot. I mean, I can't say anything about the guy I haven't said before. I absolutely love him. You are my twin, my man. Go out there and show these guys how these Shanes play golf.
There we go. Love to hear it. All right, my top 10. This one's it's safe, but I don't think it's safe because he hasn't finished in this position this year yet. Willie Z, top 10. He's gotten some T13s. He's gotten a T15.
T12 last week.
Like, let's push it a little further this time, Willie. You're playing well. You're in a course that you can play well in. You got to be accurate with your driver, so he could get into some trouble if his driver isn't working for him. You don't want to get in the sand, but I don't know. I got a good feeling about Willie Z, and I'm hoping that he'll do this not just for me, but for us.
You know what I absolutely love about that pick is that this weekend we get to watch Willie Z not only for the Dechambros and for our team, not only for your top 10, but for my top 10 as well.
No,
I have Willie fucking Z top 10.
All right.
Great minds think alike. There's nothing I can say that you haven't said already. Willie Z, top 10. Let's go for the team.
All right. I want to hear your top 5 before I give you mine.
My top 5 was the easiest pick that I had looking at all the names in there.
So there's no way we're going to have the same one.
I went very, very safe in this. Looking at the field, this man is by far the best player in the field.
I know who you're going with.
This week, he's the longest player. He's the longest off the tee. He's the straightest with his irons. He is my man, Ludwig O'Bear. Luddy boy. Give me that top 5.
He played well in the TGL, if that means anything. I don't really know.
He played fantastic in the TGL.
Yeah. I want Thigala.
No shit.
Plus 600.
You're going big on this.
I'm going big. I'm going field. This isn't a field bet. When you look at a list and you're like, you would look good winning this today.
Yeah.
That's what I said when I looked at Thigala.
And you know what? I think that Sahith would look good winning any tournament. I mean, I love the kid.
Sahith. I don't know if he'll win. I'm hoping for a top 5.
I think it's definitely...
I told you I went for it. I'm not going safe with this one, my top 5. I want to see Thigala. I want you to see Thigala. I want you to see Thigala. So...
I love it.
Thigala.
Beautiful. So that's our 20s, 10s, and 5s. I'm going to be honest with you, Tanner. I kind of did a little bit of a bonus bet. I didn't tell you about this. I didn't prepare you for this. I'm so confident in my 20s, 10s, and 5s this week. I fucking parlayed them.
I've been doing that every single week.
My man. My
$5
three-leg
parlay, and then I
three-leg
also do
parlay
my
on
5, 10,
plus
20.
2,000, man. I couldn't say no.
Last week, mine was plus 5,800 something.
Well, of course, because you got
like,
3 players that missed the cut.
Right? But,
So
yeah.
but I'm
It's
very
worth the
curious.
$5 to win 500.
I'm very curious on it. I mean, I've gone now 2 for 3 once already, so I'm feeling very, very confident. Like I said, I feel like I went pretty safe here on them as individual bets, so I had to up that ante a little bit and throw that bad boy into a parlay.
Well, let's get her.
Beautiful. Before we go, I did want to talk a little bit about TGL. Obviously, we're recording again on Tuesday. This will be released tomorrow after the event. But TGL Week 3 is tonight.
Yeah.
Again, as the, resident TGL fan of the group, I mean, I don't know how it's going to go. Last week, to be honest with you, again, a little bit lackluster. I think that looking back at the teams, it doesn't look like there was much strategic planning in terms of competition and wanting to win. Yeah. I mean, Kevin Kisner, great for content.
Love Kiz.
Not very good for golf as it seems. I mean, love him in the broadcasting booth. I think he's what golf needs in terms of his voice.
I agree.
I think he's been a little bit lackluster in terms of his golf game the last few years. So, I mean, it was pretty surprising to see him, put up on the team.
It's the old boys club.
Max Homa, again, another guy on the team. Jupiter Links just seems like it's Tiger Woods and guys to talk. You know what I mean? And even Tiger Woods, I feel like his entrance, I mean, coming out to Eye of the Tiger all time. Great pick. It didn't hype me up as much as I wanted it to. And I feel like, again, maybe this is just a product of me overhyping myself for something and just, putting it on such a high pedestal that the only thing it can do is let me down. But we're also looking at the first 2 weeks being absolute blowouts. So has there been any opportunity to see any type of competitive nature in this league? Not yet. And what I'm really worried about is this week again.
Yeah, Shane, your take is it's on thin ice here on this TGL thing here. I mean, honestly, it doesn't even look like they care. So why should I care about this?
Yeah,
it's doesn't even look that fun. A and B, the whole music thing really throws me off. It's like a nightclub. Every time I see a thing on Twitter, or X, sorry, it's a nightclub with a simulator in it. We got one of those in Port Colborne.
100%. They definitely have to figure out their audio as well. One of the big things that irks me is when you watch football or you watch a hockey game and the crowd roars, you hear the crowd roar. And what TGL is missing is it's such a small stadium that you're not hearing the roar, you're hearing the individual people. So it's really missing. And the audio just sounds like poor audio in the background. Take last week, our podcast. Somehow my mic went out and we were forced to take over the mic from the camera. There's a huge difference in quality that dipped. And I edited my fucking ass off trying to make that sound good, and it sounded like shit.
You did bad.
And it
was terrible.
Well, you know what? I'm not a professional here. I did my fucking best. But you know who are professionals? The motherfuckers that are putting on the TGL.
Yeah.
And they can't seem to figure out how to separate the crowd noise from the player noise still, from the music noise. It sounds like the player's on his cell phone talking to me, and I can hear the party going on in the background.
Yep.
And it's not giving the vibe on TV that I'm sure it's giving in person. Again, I don't know how many times I can say it. I'm sure it's electric in person to be able to be there and to see it. It's it's why I have season tickets to lacrosse. It's why I love going to the Toronto Rock games. The music plays the whole time. Yep. The energy in there is always at an all-time high. You're never going down. And I'm sure that that's what it feels like in the stadium. It's not how it feels like when we're watching.
Definitely not.
Again, don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's also hard that if you're not hyping me up the way you are hyping the crowd in there up, and we're having an absolute blowout where, like you said, if the players don't care about the competition, how can I? And that's coming from me who fucking cares about this league. So if it's hard for me who gives a fuck to give a fuck, then how is anyone going to give a fuck? I mean, that's kind of my point there. And
very well put.
Looking into this week, it's looking like a dreadful week again, honestly. New York, who famously got blown out in week 1, is going against a stacked Atlanta Drive team. New York is also missing Xander, who's out due to his apparent rib injury. So we have a beat-up team that's been beat up going against Atlanta, who has Justin Thomas coming off a hot week, Patty Ice coming off a hot week. Patty Ice might actually be entertaining to watch, seeing as he can't slow play anyone being on a shot clock. So that's really the only positive I have looking into
I might even watch
week,
it just to watch him on a shot clock. Like, that would be television.
He's gonna be a little bit
itself.
stressed.
I think he'll be sweating bullets. Meanwhile, he'll probably just be pinning them. He'll be probably better than everyone there tonight on that shot clock, guaranteed, because he is really good at golf.
I hope so. And honestly, you know what might be good that comes out of this? He might get put on the shot clock, react better, make better shots in the stadium, and that might translate onto the course. I doubt it.
I mean, he did well last week, so...
He did well. Yeah, can't complain.
Who knows, buddy? Who knows?
Beautiful.
All right.
That's all I have for the TGL. One last thing I wrote down here, kind of a notable, cool thing that I'm not sure if you saw, but you might be interested in. Live Golf, right? First tournament scheduled for February 6th to 8th. They're going to be playing under the lights.
Oh, that is cool.
So neat aspect. It's something that you don't get everywhere. It's something that we've been begging for down here in Niagara, hoping that one of these casinos would buy up a course and throw lights on them for night golf. I'm very, very interested to see how that's going to translate on TV. I'm worried about the low light.
I don't think you should. I've seen so many videos from, it has to be Chinese golf courses.
Golf too, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Top Golf. But they have, and it's there's spotlights all down the fairways, and to see the ball, you can almost see the ball better because it's just pure darkness in that white ball, and you see it shot shaping better, and you see the spin almost. It looks really cool. I like that.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
It does look really neat anytime I see it on TikTok with Top Golf and golfers out there practicing and stuff like that. So just another little tad bit there. I think it's a pretty genius way to bring a little bit of a gimmick into their first showing. Now, whether it was or was not based on the fact that they have this big Fox contract, so now they're going to be on primetime TV, and they're all the way in Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. That may have, a little bit of impact on the decision, but whether they're doing it for a gimmick or whether they're doing it because of the timing, I'm all in on week 1 of Live Golf. So
I'm actually in. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I think that wraps up our week here for the Dechambros. Exciting week of golf ahead of us. Exciting weekend. Exciting TGL match.
Exciting weekend for me. I'm going on vacation, guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Next time you
Congratulations.
See me, I'll be checking in from Mexico. So
Tanner going on his honeymoon. So we're going to miss you this week. We'll see you. Obviously, check in on video there for next week's episode, and we'll see how we did.
Let's do it.
Beautiful. Dechambros.